try to play behind the scenes.
Man,
I try to play.
These folks got to hear this shit, Saucy.
Oh, intro what? Damn.
I get fucked into no track. Bitch, don't ask me for no hangout on the text, won't answer back. I work hard to be on top, dodging the fall like my ex. I wake up in different places, different cars, get different sex. Really don't play about this shit no more. Fuck what they doing, we ain't losing. I just changed the closet up, the trip got super stupid. Business booming, I just laugh when they think I make this on music. They didn't know me the whole time, congratulate me like they know it. Boys around me had the way out, had to get it on my own. Niggas ain't give me shit, no food up in my plate, not even a bone. Black get caught up just like ops if he switching and moving wrong. My brody got shot by his blood, that's why I always move along. Those enemies ain't fought, them boys is close. If I see that you jealous, I don't want you close. If you telling a bitch, we know you a hoe. They say that they die for you, promise they won't. Them niggas ain't down, them niggas ain't low. Soon as you fall, them boys gon' go. No respect for your bitch, they gon' take where you go. I only stay down for me and I go for me, cause it's only one name on the song. Come out when they be mad, I know they be hating. Only worry about the business they pay me. Money for when I'm sleeping, I gotta get to the check, secure the bag. Fuck it, they hate, fuck it, they mad. Love ain't real, it come with a tag. I get falling for no track. Bitch, don't ask me for no hangout on the text, won't answer back. I work hard to be on top, dodging the fall like my ex. I wake up in different places, different cars, get different sex. Now they give me my respect. Did this shit all alone, they try to help and I neglect. We broke ties, parted ways, but my foot stood up on their neck. I was blinded by the blood, I never do that shit again. It's hard for me to trust, I don't love bitches, don't do friends. Hidden agendas, you ain't my homie, you a pretender.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. At y'all with another live for the night, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. We got some things that we need to discuss in the boxing world. Shout out to everybody that's currently in the building. Shout out to my boy Texas 16 South, Ghost, Sean Terrence, J Cash, Lorenzo, Chris, OY. What's going on, man? I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let some people get up in here, man. Hit the like button as soon as you come in. We got some things that we need to discuss. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the biggest news to drop currently with the sport of boxing. You know what I mean? I'm actually gonna switch up the name, I'm gonna switch up the title of this video because it seems like Alycia Baumgardner cannot catch a break. Seems like she catches another stray. That boy Ryan Garcia back at it with the stupid shit, I guess, man. You know what I mean? It just don't stop with that cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs ass niggas, man. But we gonna speak about it, man. I hope everybody's doing well. You know what I mean? I hope everybody's doing well. Honestly, I'm not just saying it to say it. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I've been telling you guys, man, Mazuma merch. I'm working on some things. You know what I mean? I'm working on a new design for the people. You know what I mean? Since there's more people, there's more supporters than the last time I put something out. I want to make something new for you guys to show my appreciation for, you know, becoming part of the nation. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I'm definitely working on that. You know what I mean? He said new profile picture fire too, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Chris, back with his original comment, says, I'm about to watch a new video on the new channel. You got my support. I already know that channel going hit. Hashtag men's mental health. Yeah, I appreciate that very much, man. Yep. On my new channel called Notes to Self with MarkMazuma, man, I got this new video being posted up. And it's a pretty long video, man. So if you guys not able to watch it fully, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not really, you know, expecting everybody to sit there and take the time out of their busy day to, you know, listen to the whole thing. But it's nothing but honesty, man, transparency, and giving you you know, a little bit more of me. You know what I mean? On here, we keep it boxing. You know what I mean? We don't really get into the personal stuff and things of that nature, but we speak about some real life events such as, like, you know, going through some tough battles in life. You know what I mean? Overcoming some things and, you know, figuring ways up out of it. You know what I mean? How you currently feel in the moment when you processing them things, and how you able to deal with it as a result. You know what I mean? And how you and it was just pretty much my perspective prior to the conflict happening. I tell you what I was thinking in the moment, and then I look back on it, you know what I mean? And I give you my reflection on the whole situation, man. You know what I'm saying? So go check out that new channel. You know what I mean? If you want to speak on, if you want to listen to, or even speak on some things that are deeper than boxing. You feel what I mean? But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. We got some things that we need to discuss. This person right here just literally wrote the same thing in the comment section of my community board. What if I told you I'm a girl and I'm in a burner account because I told my friends about you, so they won't know so they won't know I'm on here on my real. You just know your looks. Listen, this is not the place to be going back and forth about these type of situations. If you're gonna support the channel, it's appreciated very much. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? I got social media and things of that nature if you would like to reach out and things like that, but this ain't the place to be doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a pretty crazy name to have on YouTube if you are a woman. You know what I mean? That's a pretty masculine name if you ask me, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. We got 15 people. Let's get 15 likes, man. Let's get 15 likes in the building, man. But we're going to talk about the biggest thing to drop in boxing news today, man. We're going to speak about my boy, one of my favorite fighters in the sport of boxing, man. Jaron Ennis, you know what I mean? Catching us off guard with the news, man. Jaron Ennis has been playing it pretty cool, playing it low key. You know what I mean? He's been posting stuff here and there, but hasn't really been saying much, hasn't really participated in many interviews or anything like that. But, you know, he's been working. You know, the last time I went over to the gym, I seen that he was working out. And I didn't really get to talk to him that much, but, you know, he's locked in. He's focused. You know what I mean? Just staying on his grind as he should, even when he was in the midst of, you know, those legal battles and stuff like that. And I told you guys yesterday that those legal battles were out of the way. They were resolved. And the last time I had a conversation with my boy Jamil Parker over at YSM Sports Media, he was a complete free agent. You know what I mean? It was a complete free agent. We were discussing some possibilities that Jaron Ennis may explore. And we did touch on the matchroom situation. So it's crazy that in less than 24 hours after that conversation I had with YSM, he ends up announcing his move. You know what I mean? And neither one of us had any idea that he was going to go in that direction. But we were counting it as a strong possibility. You know what I mean? Because me and him had an agreement during our conversation that, you know, there was some pros and cons with signing with the PBC. You know what I mean? I was going on, and you can go check out the live yesterday. If you think I'm capping, it's right on the live when we were speaking about it. How signing with PBC may be a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? In terms of if he doesn't sign with PBC, they probably won't be really into overpaying his opponents because he's not fully committed to them. He's not signed with them. So why would they necessarily put all this bread up to make him look good when he could possibly go to another network and, you know, side with them? You know what I mean? They're not gonna cash out their fighters if they know they're not gonna benefit from it. You know what I mean? So that was the one thing. But then on the other side of the coin is like, if he were to sign with PBC, doesn't necessarily guarantee that he's gonna be fighting these big names, because we've seen things in the past happen where we've had fighters sign with promotional companies and we're under the impression that a certain fight may happen as a result of them signing there, and it actually doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest examples that I could come up with that I provided yesterday was Luis Ortiz signing with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing. This is something that has happened at one point in time. And because Luis Ortiz was ranked high in the WBA and Anthony Joshua had the WBA title at one point, we were under the impression as boxing fans at that moment that Eddie Hearn may line up Luis Ortiz versus Anthony Joshua. What did Eddie Hearn do as a result? He kept Luis Ortiz as far away from Anthony Joshua as possible because although Luis Ortiz was signed with him, he wasn't about to cash out his cash cow to Luis Ortiz. You feel what I mean? So what he did was give him a few opponents. He had some performances that, fans didn't really like. And then Luis Ortiz had pretty much been released from the deal shortly afterwards. You know what I mean? So I see exactly what Jamil Parker was talking about, and I actually agreed with him. So it's crazy that within less than 24 hours, man, I was actually on my break, walking back to work. Oh, yeah? Yeah, that's crazy as shit. Look, I'm Mazuma TV, but we got Mazuma TV in the building. He said, yo, South Crack was talking reckless on live yesterday. He brought up a disease or something. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You feel what I mean? If he actually brought up, me dealing with a disease or anything like that. And that just goes to show, Southpaw isn't really somebody that you can necessarily trust with personal information. You know what I mean? Even though I do put it out publicly, I do speak about it publicly. That's something that I've been dealing with for 4 or 5 years already, half a decade. And it's actually the reason why I stopped boxing. You feel what I mean? I actually speak about it on my new channel, speaking about that whole situation and how I struggled having this relationship with God shortly afterwards. So if that's true, then that just speaks volumes on who he is as a person. And it is what it is. I don't really know what else to say about that. It's gonna be hard to fade somebody like me. I'm not this too emotional dude. You know what I mean? And if I'm the one putting out there publicly, then why would I be mad if somebody else speak about it? It is what it is. I don't give a fuck about what he's talking about. He can continue doing what he's doing. Last time I heard, he was talking about how I was a good father and stuff like that. But I was a supporter of Devin Haney, so he didn't fuck with me. So that was the last thing he's saying. So it seems like he's reaching and saying certain things about me to try to get some, recognition or whatever. It's crazy because, like I said, I don't even have half of his subscriber count. But meanwhile, my dick stay in his mouth. So I don't know if he got some type of weird obsession with me. I don't know exactly what his issue is, but I would suggest that he stick to, being obsessed with his fat ass wife. You know what I mean? I think that he should stick to that. I think that he need to take some weight off of his fat ass wife. You know what I mean? He be boxing all the time. You know what I'm saying? He said he in his 40s still boxing. I think that he needs to get into his personal coaching role and try to shed some pounds off of his fat ankle having ass wife. You know what I mean? And cut some sodium up out of her diet. You know what I'm saying? Because, he might be a widow if he don't take control of that. Control your bitch eating habits before you talk about me. You feel me? And we just gonna leave it at that. You can screen record that. That's another thing you can send over to Southpaw corny ass. You know what I mean? This is a man who blatantly admits to paying prostitutes $20, $30 to have his way with them. Me and him are in two totally different situations in life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have those type of issues. I've never been that desperate in life where I gave up a dub and some change to get some play. You know what I mean? The difference between me and guys like him is that with or without YouTube, if YouTube was to shut off today, I'll be okay with life. I will still be relevant in the sport of boxing. I don't need to talk crazy about anybody to get any type of clicks. I don't got to talk bad about anybody to get any clicks. I have multiple ways of getting money within one sport. I'm cool with life, bro. I'm extremely content. I work hard. I don't really have to justify myself for nobody. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, hopefully, he could get his wife right, get her little fat ass on an elliptical or something, because she might be a little bit too big for a treadmill. You know what I mean? So get her on the elliptical, you know what I mean? Try to get that fat up off them ankles. You know what I mean? Because it's probably gonna be hard to fit her feet in some sneakers in a little bit. You know what I mean? She probably gonna need some orthopedic shoes soon. So maybe you could take a little bit of that YouTube check that you be getting, that you claim you get. You get a lot of money on YouTube, right? What it's starting to look like is that pretty soon down the line, you might have to cop you a oxygen tank. You know what I mean? To help her get her big ass up them steps. And then you know what I mean? You're gonna have to cop her some diabetic shoes, bro, because for real, I'm willing to bet whatever. You talking about money, I'm willing to bet you whatever that she weigh more than you. You know what I mean? So you get this money, you talk this big shit online, you stay talking about people, disrespecting people. Why don't you get at your fat ass wife? Because to be fair with you, I never seen her face. But one time we was on FaceTime, we was talking, he flipped the camera around, you know what I mean? And I seen how big them legs was. And I could just tell from how big she was in the ankle area that she was a significantly big woman. Probably a good 3 bags of ruffles away from being on my 600-pound life. You feel what I mean? So that's my advice to him. You know, you want to talk about people's diseases. I'm sure that your wife is a pre-diabetic. I would suggest you stop feeding her. You know what I mean? And focus on feeding your daughter and feeding your wife less. Cause it looked like she taking both of they. She taking all y'all meals for real, for real. You know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? People like him can't, you know, be on the same type of time as somebody like me. We two different type of men. You got to sell controversy in order for you to provide for your family. I don't need to, you know, live with any type of facade or anything like that. I'm genuinely me. How I am on here, I am in person. Clean conscious. You know what I mean? I don't got to disrespect nobody's family. I don't got to worry about nobody running up on me. You know what I'm saying? And if it were a situation where that would happen, I'm pretty content with whatever transpires from it. You know, people keep talking about being from Chicago and shit like that. I got family in Chicago. I've been in Chicago, and I wouldn't have no problem going over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Shout out to my guy, Karma. Oh, that's Karma, actually. Karma with the $5 super chat talking about chill, fam. All right, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I appreciate you putting a halt to my rant. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, bro. Them type of people, like I said, them type of people can't live the life that I live. You know, anytime you got a grown-ass man in his 40s selling gossip for a living, you know what I mean? Because he's literally like, this nigga's like the Wendy Williams of boxing talk. You feel what I mean? This nigga's like the TMZ of boxing talk. If Southpaw wasn't, you know, somebody that's on everybody's hit list, he'd probably be running down on dudes with cameras, asking them about, you know, their personal life and shit like that. He's that type of weirdo. You know what I mean? He rarely talks about anything but boxing. If y'all ever get the chance, or if y'all support Southpaw, that's cool too. I genuinely don't care. Ask him to break down the fight. Ask him to break down the fight. That man used to call my phone and be like, yo, man, what you think about this fight, man? Who you think wins that fight? And I give him a straight breakdown. Yo, I think this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. That nigga would literally take what I say word for word, put it in his video. And then we'll post it as if it was his original idea, then sent me money as a result. I was one of the ones who was actually giving him content for his page because he wasn't intellectual enough to come up with his own opinion. You feel what I mean? It is what it is. Like I said, I've only bought one piece of merch from Southpaw TV, and I have no idea where that hoodie is right now. It's probably somebody. This is probably that Southpaw TV hoodie is probably down Kensington somewhere, being wrapped around somebody's arm so they can inject their drugs. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it's being used for. I think it's I think they're applying pressure on their arm to pop out a vein so they could. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going on. That boy still wear Pivot Boxing Academy merch. He still got my Mazuma merch. So, you know what I mean? Thank you for you. I still see him posting videos with my Mazuma TV merch on. So keep promoting me. You know what I mean? You talking about me on your lives. Keep making me relevant. Because I did notice that my subscribers went up significantly within the past couple days. You know what I mean? I think I got like 30 subscribers in like 2 days. So keep talking about me. All you doing is bringing more interest to my name. There's plenty of people that come to my channel and be like, yo, I came from Southpaw, which he's responsible for, you know, a good amount of subscribers on my channel. And I thanked him for that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the people end up staying because they know that I actually talk boxing. You feel what I mean? Controversy and gossip only sell for so long. It's gonna get to the point where, you know, people are gonna get bored and ask what's next. You feel what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing, man. Stay in your lane, and I hope you feel vindicated in whatever you choose to do in life, my brother. So let's get into the boxing talk. Let's get into the boxing talk. It is what it is. I'm gonna actually check to see exactly what he said. I want to see exactly what he said about my disease, though, if he even said it. You know what I mean? Because people be coming on here saying that he says certain shit, and he don't say anything at all. So let's check it out. He actually didn't go live yesterday. See, got little weirdos like that on here. You know what I mean? Yeah, my gym definitely not hard to find. But he know what type background we come from, so he not ever gonna make any type of threats or anything like that. He gonna try that with them niggas that, you know, he don't put gloves on with and sparred and, you know, shit like that. Shout out to Soaked. He said, I caught you on YSM Sports Media. I got a lot of interviews on YSM. I got interviews on YSM from like 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? I first met Jamil because I seen when he was on the come up, he was interviewing all these different guys from Philly. So I'm like, oh shit, there's somebody who's finally like, you know, taking part in like Philly boxing media. You know what I mean? Because we didn't really have nobody. So when we made our grand opening at Pivot Boxing, I was like, yo, man, like if you got some time, come through. And he actually came through and he gave me and my father an interview, and we've had a relationship since then. And we talk on a consistent basis. That's a real, I consider him a friend of mine, and he's a pretty cool dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. Let's speak about Jaron Ennis. So, like I said, it's crazy because we were just speaking about Jaron Ennis options yesterday. You know what I mean? And I'm actually going to be putting out a video tomorrow talking about 3 reasons why Jaron Ennis signing with Matchroom Boxing may actually be a great move for his career. You know what I mean, Jaron? And, you know, I could provide the reasons now because there's not many people. I mean, there's a lot of people who watch my videos that aren't able to catch my lives. Because after all, I do come on pretty late. So the three reasons why. The first reason I'm gonna get into is activity. You know what I mean? Now, Eddie Hearn, he keeps his fighters busy, man, and he has the dates. And I think that's exactly why Eddie Hearn has been able to sign the people that he's been signing lately. Of course, the money is a thing. You know, fighters want to get paid. They prize fighters. They fight for prizes. That's pretty apparent. But overall, it seems like the top fighters in boxing that are with Eddie Hearn seem to fight 3 times a year. You know what I mean? When we look at Anthony Joshua, last year he fought 3 times. Katie Taylor is a big fighter in Eddie Hearn's stable. She fights. I've seen her fight 3 times in a year. Ben Rodriguez, he fought consistently, especially back when he had beat Carlos Quadras. Then he beat the dude who beat Roman Gonzalez. Shit. Well, regardless, he fought 3 times in that 1 year, right? So he has dates. He has people that's highly invested into his company, and he has a pretty good foundation set out for these guys. You know what I mean? So they making good money, they fighting consistently, and that's all these fighters want at the end of the day. And PBC, you know, I'm a huge fan of PBC. I love Al Heyman, but a lot of the guys that are over at that stable are extremely inactive. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a money situation or a lack of dates. Could be both, but like, you know, if they do fight on if they do end up getting a fight, they happens to be on pay-per-view and no guaranteed purses and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of these fighters are looking for some type of guarantee. You know what I mean? Some guys, Tim Tszú's not an Eddie Hearn fighter. Tim Tszú's not an Eddie Hearn fighter. He's actually not technically a PBC fighter neither. I forgot what company he's with. I forgot what promotional company he's with, but he's pretty much associated with PBC. He's not a PBC fighter. You know, Eddie Hearn got the dates, he got the money, and I think that's why he's been able to solidify some good names like Subriel Matias, Jaron Ennis. He's able to work with Devin Haney. He's able to work with Canelo Alvarez. He's building up a hell of a stable, man. And, you know, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Eddie Hearn, but this boy is out here making some crazy ass moves. And you got to respect the man from a business aspect, because it takes a certain type of person in a positive way, business wise, to get these guys into deals. You know what I mean? The zone is getting stronger. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn definitely slipped and bumped his head a couple times in the process of trying to, you know, take over the U.S. boxing market. He seen that it was a lot different from the UK, and there was some adjustments he had to make. And he's making some shit happen. So that's what it is. That was one of the reasons why. Activity. I think there's a lack of it currently in boxing. Eddie Hearn seems to provide that type of stability for fighters where they could get some consistent fight dates. You know what I mean? And get paid well in the process. A second reason for why this might be a good deal is because Eddie Hearn has solid connections with people who are quality investors. One of the most biggest investors in the sport of boxing today is His Excellency Turki Alycia. He has a good relationship with him, and since Jaron Ennis has this partnership deal set in place with Eddie Hearn, he could possibly get involved in one of these Saudi Arabia cards. Also, according to the rumor that's going on with Terrence Crawford, it seems like Turki Alycia wants to bring his events over to the States. So that just plays even more Jaron Ennis's favor if these rumors are true. You know what I mean? Bigger checks, you know what I mean? With these bigger checks may come bigger fights, which will be great for Jaron Ennis because he definitely needs those opportunities. You see what I mean? He definitely needs those opportunities, and it seems like the reason why a lot of these guys aren't willing to step up is because there's not a big bag attached to his name. They feel like they're taking too much of a risk for too low of a reward. So if he's able to get those high-level investors on his side, then maybe he'll have some opportunities to prove how great he truly is. You know what I'm saying? So that's the second reason, for sure. Shout out to Orlando Finney with the $5 super chat. He says, keep doing your thing, Playboy. This dude is a clown. He's too old to be acting like that. I mean, yeah, definitely. He definitely lacked that father figure in his life, man. He definitely lacked that. You could tell. That boy definitely struggling from some mental health issues. So pray for that man. He on that Ryan Garcia shit. Soak says Matchroom paying dudes can't knock it. Absolutely. They not signing with him if they not gonna sign with him and fight for free. You know what I mean? So the money must be something that they content with. I don't think Canelo Alvarez is going to do business consistently with a person unless he's getting compensated. I don't know if Devin Haney will partner up with somebody if he's not getting compensated properly. That's why when Alycia Baumgardner did that co-promotional deal with Eddie Hearn, she said, earn with Hearn. They satisfied with the bread that they be getting from this man. He got a way about it. He got a system. They fuck with it. And they fighting. They getting recognized. And one of the things that I heard Eddie Hearn say when he was doing his interview, shooting a pitch at Jaron Ennis, is that we have to make him a bigger star in Philly. Damn, that sounded like Canelo. That was terrible. But he was like, Philly, you know what I'm saying? Talking about that he wants to get him more recognizable in Philadelphia, wants to make him a bigger name in his hometown. So he's looking to do that. And I believe him in all honesty, because the one time that I actually seen Eddie Hearn in person, he did a fight at the Leocore Center, right down the block from where I grew up, like a 5-minute drive. And that's when Tevin Farmer was fighting consistently. You know what I mean? He had the IBF. Was it the IBF? Yeah, it was the IBF super featherweight title. And I think he fought like 5 times in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Just staying sharp. And he had one fight at the Leocore Center. And it was a hell of an event. You know what I mean? I believe that's when Raymond Ford had made his pro debut. Fast forward, the man is currently a world champion. So Eddie Hearn definitely walks it like he talks it. You know what I mean? In terms of business. So it'll be really dope to see Jaron Ennis fight in Philadelphia, man. Especially with him having a world title right now, because he's fought in Philly several times. We've even fought on the same card multiple times. You know, I had my pros fight on the same card as him, especially when he was on the come up. You know what I mean? A little bit before he signed with Showtime and shit like that. You know what I mean? But it'll be absolutely dope to see Eddie Hearn invest in the Jaron Ennis like that, where, you know, Philadelphia could really get the witness seeing Jaron Ennis like at his peak. You know what I mean? With a world title. You know, I believe he's currently Philadelphia's only world champion right now. I could be wrong, but who else? You know, Stephen Fulton don't got a belt no more. J-Rock don't got a belt no more. I don't know anybody else from Philly that has a world title besides Jaron Ennis. So that'll be dope, man. That'll be absolutely dope. You know what I mean? So that's 2 out of 3 reasons right there why signing with Mushroom might be a good deal. Activity and, you know, having big investors backing Eddie Hearn that's done business with Eddie Hearn. For example, Your Excellency, Turkey Alycia. You know what I mean? But before I get into the 3rd reason, man, shout out to Orlando Finney with another super chat, man. Another 5-piece. He said, I'm a Bud fan, but I'm more of a fan of boxing. I would love to see Boost take over the welterweight division once Bud vacate them belts. That's something I wanted to get into as well, man. This was another conversation I was having with Jamil, YSN Sports Media, and I'm wondering, I'm like, bro, what? Like, if Bud is making it clear that his next fight is going to be at 154 pounds, I think it's safe to say he's not returning to the welterweight division. You know what I mean? He's making it clear that he's want to fight for a bag. He wants the biggest fights possible financially. You know what I mean? Anything, or, you know, legacy-wise, you know, in terms of him getting another world title in a different weight class. So if that's true, why isn't he vacating the titles? You know what I mean? You're no longer coming back to welterweight. You don't feel like it makes sense to fight Jaron Ennis or anything like that. You and Ennis are the only world champions at welterweight right now that have legitimate world titles. You know, Stanionis got the WBA regular and shit like that. So why not just give up the belts and allow the division to continue moving without you? You know what I'm saying? They already stripped you of 1 belt and you was mad as shit about that. But since then, you haven't even announced a welterweight return yet. So what exactly is going on? I'm not really understanding it. And, you know, I've seen Terrence Crawford fans trying to justify it. Oh, he does what he wants, man. He doesn't have anything to prove. Okay, bro, if y'all going to take that approach where all of a sudden y'all are terrified to have Terrence Crawford roll the dice against these young up-and-coming Lions, then why don't y'all just vacate the belts and go after the belts at 154 pounds? You said that after the Earl Spence fight that you was having trouble making welterweight. If that's the case, leave welterweight alone. Leave it alone. You know what I mean? But I'm a big Bud fan, just like you, Orlando Finney. I appreciate the $5 super chat, man. And I like how you said you're more of a fan of boxing. You know what I mean? I think everybody needs to adopt that approach where you're a boxing fan first before you are a fan of an individual, because I think the mistake that's being made right now is that these fans, fanboys, whatever you want to call them, prioritize being a fan of the fighter than they are. They prioritize being a fan of the individual before they're the fan of the sport, which is why they allow the fuck shit that go on in boxing, whether it's the ducking, that's pretty much what it is. The ducking tactics, over marinating fights and shit like that. And it's disgusting to see. You know what I mean? Like, they're okay with not receiving the best treatment as fans, and they're the ones who happen to put their money up. Well, at least I know I do. I don't know if they put their money up. I'm probably one of very few people that still pay for pay-per-views and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Silk says, could you see Boots headline an influencer KSI type card? Them things generate a bag. Not necessarily. I don't think so at all. I think that Eddie Hearn I think he understands the opportunity that he has in front of him. He knows that he has a diamond in Jaron Ennis, so I don't think he's gonna put Boots anywhere near an influencer or a KSI type card. I think that he's gonna bring the attention strictly around Jaron Ennis, and I think that his whole intentions behind signing Ennis is showing him that he's in good hands. And part of him being in good hands is giving him the recognition that he needs in order to become that big star in the sport of boxing. He tells you that he's a pound for pound generational talent. So I think he's going to be moving like so. And I think one of the things you have to do is don't put him anywhere near them type of dudes. Don't put him anywhere near those type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? They on two different totally types of time. You know what I mean? So keep them influencers away from Jaron Ennis, man. Jaron Ennis is the truth. He don't need them type people around him, for real, or to even share the same card as them, for real. But I understand what you mean by them things generate a bag, but nah. You know what I mean? We gotta keep the shit pure around here. You know what I'm saying? So that was the second reason. The third and final reason is that with this deal being made with Eddie Hearn, Jaron Ennis is also gonna be promoting these cards as well. This deal is in association with Boots Promotions. You know what I mean? So what that really says at the end of the day is this is a partnership, and with this being a partnership, he's going to leave with a bigger piece of the pie. So of course, once you get to a certain level in your career, it starts to be money starts to become more of a thing. When you first gain your first few fights, you don't really care about the money so much. You're just trying to get yourself in position to get these big fights so you can make the money that you desire. You know what I mean? And with Boots currently being the IBF welterweight champion right now, it's about time that he start really prioritizing, the legacy defining things while simultaneously making sure that he's getting the bags that he wants. You know what I mean? So with him co-promoting these cards, I'm sure that he's going to put his guy Ismail Muhammad in the mix as well, because that's a fighter that he has signed to his Boots promotional banner, which is going to be absolutely dope. I do think that the fighter that he has, not only did he grow up with him, but he's a hell of a fighter himself. That's going to be dope to see. Him being on that big platform that's the zone, the Matchroom Boxing. So he's putting his people in position. Absolutely. I love it. So it's dope to see, man. It's dope to see. So Rudy G, shout out to Rudy G's in the building, man. He says Boots becoming active is good for the sport of boxing. Absolutely. Like I said, Boots is a generational talent, in my opinion. I can't name many people that I feel are better than him. They might be more accomplished than him, but in terms of being like a fighter, I don't really see too many people that's better than him. So with that being known, man, it'll suck to see him go out like certain fighters that weren't able to maximize their potential. You know what I mean? So the more that he's on TV, the more that he's headlining events and getting big opportunities, the more of a blessing that it is, not only for himself but the boxing fans, because he's a phenomenal fighter. You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to seeing what he does with Eddie Hearn, man. That was pretty exciting news. In all honesty, when I read the news, my jaw dropped. Pause. When I heard that, you know what I mean? I was genuinely happy for him. I think that he said that he wanted his next move to be his best move, and I think that it was a pretty solid move. I think it was a pretty solid move. The activity, having the right people behind him to back him financially, which I think he lacked in his career. And him being a co-promoter in his own events. I think he did the right thing. I hope I'm right. You know what I mean? Teach said Eddie got boo-boo paid. I mean, he definitely got boo-boo paid. He definitely got he got boo-boo paid. And you know, he wasn't able to get those big fights that he was looking for, like the Canelo fights, the Triple G fights, even the Jaime Munguia fights he was calling for. He wasn't able to get, but he kept them active and got them paid. So I think that we can be reassured as boxing fans that Boots will have fight dates. You know what I mean? He will have opponents. But can Eddie Hearn get these big, meaningful fights for Jaron Ennis to really prove that he is who he says he is? Boots is passing the eye test with flying colors. We know that he's gifted. We know that he could very possibly be the best fighter in the world. You know, this is things that we do know. However, he needs the people in front of him to genuinely prove that he is who he says he is. Can Eddie Hearn put him in those positions to face these big names? And with this being a partnership deal, I would love to know whether Boots will be allowed to go from network to network if possible. Let's say Boots is offered a big opportunity. Let's say he is offered a big opportunity, but he'll have to go over to Golden Boy, or he'll have to go, well, Golden Boy is with the zone, so that shouldn't be an issue. But let's say he'll have to go back over to PBC. Let's say he'll have to go back over to another promotional company overall. Is he going to be able to do so? With this being a partnership, I'm assuming so, because there's people that Eddie Hearn has worked with in a partnership type situation where they've been able to go from different networks. Eddie Hearn has a partnership with Devin Haney and DHP Promotions. Devin Haney was going wherever the hell he wanted. He went over the Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Came back to the zone. Canelo Alvarez done jumped all over the place. He's done fights under Matchroom. He's went over to the PBC several times, came back to Matchroom, and now he's doing a Golden Boy and Canelo promotion, Golden Boy, PBC, and Canelo Promotions card. Like, he could literally move about things however he wants. Eddie Hearn had a Mikey Garcia deal. Mikey Garcia jumped around from the zone to PBC as well. So is this going to be the same situation from Jaron Ennis? I really need this question asked. You know what I mean? So whoever is able to interview Eddie Hearn, I really need to get the details on this situation, man. So that's a great question. Ghost, it's a co-promotional deal. I mean, it's a partnership. So this deal is structured with Matchroom Boxing, like collaborating with Boost Promotions. You know what I mean? So they're gonna be co-promoting events. You know what I mean? So it's not just him being signed with Eddie Hearn and that's just what it is. No, this is in association with Boots Promotions. Exactly. So he goes with his business in place. Yeah, it's a great move. It's a great move, man. So I'm excited. You know, I'm starting to I can't necessarily forget about like the past with Eddie Hearn and how the way he moved and shit like that. However, I can't salute him. I can't salute him for what he's been doing, what he's been contributing to the sport of boxing. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the way he pushes Jaron Ennis. You feel what I mean? So shout out to them for the deal. I hope they make the most out of it and they continue leveling up in the sport of boxing and get to where they ultimately want to go. And that's being pound for pound number one, being the best in the sport, the best in the world. You feel what I mean? Which I think he's very capable of doing. I told you guys, I've known ever since I've seen this man perform in the gym, I knew that he was special. And people are just starting to realize it now. You know what I mean? Ghost says, Mazuma, remember, you fail and you learn. That's part of the business. Of course, that's bigger than just the business of boxing. That's life. You know what I mean? That's a life lesson. You know, you learn more from, I honestly, in my experience, I've learned more from my failures than I ever had from my accomplishments. You know, I think failure builds character. You know what I mean? I think it makes you wiser. And I think it prepares you for future endeavors. You know what I mean? So I agree with you 1,000%. And the great thing about this situation is that Boots is still very young. So he could go about his career with a lot left in the tank. You know what I mean? So now he can just go on a path to straight success and, ride off into the sunset whenever the time comes. You know what I mean? End his career on a positive note. You know what I mean? God willing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my opinion, my take on that whole situation with Jaron Ennis. They said that there's going to be a fight announcement being said soon. It's interesting because with Jaron Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn, I wonder if Eddie Hearn is going to jump straight into the Conor Benn fight. Is he going to cash out Conor Benn right away? Because it seems like that's what Eddie Hearn's been trying to do with Conor Benn, man. He was trying to throw him into that Chris Eubank fight several times when he probably would have had a significant disadvantage against Chris Eubank. He was moving up 2 weight classes. And that even after, popping dirty for that banned substance, he was still trying to get the fight made, but now he's not able to fight in the UK. So with Conor Benn being limited and only being able to fight in the States, I'm assuming, or anywhere else around the world. What? Malik said, I checked his live. He said you had a disease where you lose the women in your life. What? What the fuck woman I lost in my life? The fuck he talking about? Is that nigga okay? I ain't lose no women, nigga. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. I ain't never had no problem with women. So I don't know what the fuck that you had a disease where you lose the women in your life. Can you send me the timestamp for that? Send me the timestamp for that live, Malik, if you don't mind. I need to do my live reaction to that. Soak says getting a seat at the business table is huge for the young man. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? And it's dope that, he's able to get that opportunity. You know what I mean? Philly has a special place on my heart. Boxing, Boots can be in position to put on for Philly boxing coach. That's a fact. And I think Eddie Hearn understands that, which is why he's trying to get him them fights in Philadelphia. And you better believe that I'm going to be in the building when them fights are made. You know what I mean? So is Eddie Hearn ready to cash out Conor Benn for Jaron Ennis yet? Is he going to give Jaron Ennis some, is he going to give him some, the fuck? Is he going to give Jaron Ennis some easy work for his Philadelphia hometown homecoming? Like what's the situation going to be, man? I've been thinking about it crazy, but I guess we're going to figure it out, man. Fucking Jaron Ennis versus Conor Benn in Philadelphia will be ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? But if you really look over the welterweight stable for Eddie Hearn, he lacks depth. You know what I mean? So I'm imagining that Eddie Hearn is going to be doing a lot of collaborating in order to get these fights going on, man. Can Eddie Hearn possibly get a PBC fight done with Jaron Ennis? Can he collaborate with PBC to get fights made with Jaron Ennis? There's a lot of questions, bro. It's a lot of questions. Quick tune-up first. I mean, he's coming off almost a year layoff. So it might be, something to get him back in the mix. You know what I mean? He's going to get his DAZN debut popping and shit like that. So we'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean? So let's get into it. But Malik, yo, if you still watching this, man, send me the timestamp for that. I need to know what he said. Tell me what minute and second he said that at, man. I need to know what is being said. Wait, what? Teach? He said that, Teach? MS says Golden Boy behind Boots and this deal with the zone. What is you talking about? What Golden Boy got to do with Boots signing with Eddie Hearn? Yeah, what'd he say? and Craig voice. That's a fact. Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying, Teach. Go says, I believe he will spend the bag for Boots. He's too talented for him to not capitalize. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Boots can be the face of boxing. That's a fact. I think when people talk about the face of boxing, they mention guys like Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney. You know, they even throw Shakur in the mix. And these guys are all quality guys, and they may very well be the face of boxing. You know what I mean? In the future. You know, but Jaron Ennis has a strong case as well. You know, when we look over all these guys and their skill sets and what they're capable of doing, I don't know what these guys could do that Jaron Ennis can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we talking about power, Boots got that. We talking about speed, got that. Marketability, Boots is a marketable fighter. He's one of the most exciting fighters in the sport of boxing. Style, he got style. He be having some crazy. He be having some dope fight outfits. He be having a hell of a time in the ring, bro. Bro. Trust me, that Jaron Ennis has it all, straight like that, like hands down, no debating. There's nothing that these guys could do that Jaron Ennis can't. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you know, Soap brings up another good point: good role model behavior. This dude, when you ever heard anything about Boots, legal issues or anything like that? I haven't even heard of this motherfucker getting a speeding ticket. Like, he lives the fighter lifestyle. You know what I mean? He don't be in the mix. Bro, this man really lives the boxer life. You know what I mean? If he don't got a fight date or something, he probably go to the studio with his niggas and make some music. He probably go to a basketball gym and, you know, shoot for a little bit, you know what I mean? Get some games going. Bro, he keeps himself busy. He's not doing anything crazy. I never heard of this man drinking, smoking, fucking around, doing anything like that. You know what I mean? So he lives the life. He said he never even heard him curse on camera. That's a fact. He goes to church. Like, this man, he just like, real good example of who kids should be looking up to, man. He got it all. He just needs the opportunity, and I hope Eddie Hearn puts him in position or helps him at least. You know what I'm saying? He stays to himself. He keeps his head down, and he grinds. You got to respect that man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is with Jaron Ennis, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. You know what I mean? But let's talk about Ryan Garcia, man. Let's look at Ryan Garcia. Let's talk about him briefly. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. So according to Ryan Garcia, he's back on the socials like he's always been. He's never left the socials, of course. And he decided to speak his mind. You know what I mean? He decided to speak his mind. I think he's continuing to go back into the mind games with Devin Haney. He's trying his best to, you know, really get under his skin. And let's see. This dude is wild. And hold on, I don't even know where the fuck to start. When did he start disrespecting Alycia Baumgardner? Because this man, it seems like he's still writing shit. But the last joint was 2 hours ago. So let's see. And you see that he went on live on Twitter, and you know, he's making a mockery of himself in terms of having a meltdown, and, you know, just he's making fun of and playing along with the whole having a meltdown situation, and, you know, the whole crazy role. He's seeming to embrace it. He's trolling, you know what I mean? Which gives me the idea that he may have been playing this whole you know, he might have really been doing this shit as trolling. You know what I mean? When everybody was concerned about his mental health, that might have just been him trolling. You see what I mean? Because he's right in front of you right now talking about Ryan meltdown live, and he's legit giving away a watch. He's insane. You know what I mean? So he's really playing that trolling card today. Let me see. So Alycia Baumgardner didn't even mention this man. And he said, "You cool." And I sent the DM saying you a baddie for sure, but you switched up. You faulted. It's over for you, Baumgardner, boxing wise. I have $1 million that Seniesa Estrada beats you. I put up $1 million of my own money to make this fight happen. Ryan, what the fuck are you talking about? Where the fuck did that even come from? Are you mad because Alycia Baumgardner trains with Devin Haney or has a relationship with Devin Haney? What was like the angle for this? Like you just blatantly seen her comment something. You see that she got something going on with Clarissa, so you want to include yourself in the mix. That's weird, bro. Why you like trying to reach out and trying to get clout off of a female, bro? That's weirdo shit. But he goes on and, you know, has some subliminal homophobic tweets. He says, painting your nails as a grown man will never be cool, ever. And yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on with Ryan Garcia. Just throws a shot at Alycia for no reason. I don't understand why Alycia Baumgardner has been taking so many strays lately, because she hasn't really been addressing any men for real. You know what I mean? I don't really see her talking crazy to men or anything like that. And she responded and said, "This how I know you be saying anything. Focus on that L you about to take next week." Devin Haney also responded to this. He says, "I bet $1 million on Alycia Baumgardner." Bro, what weight class is Seniesa Estrada in? What weight class is she in? Like, let's really take a look at this, because I don't even know if this makes sense. I believe that Seniesa Estrada fights at like 105 pounds. I don't know if I'm tripping or what. This girl, they're like nowhere near each other in weight. Yeah, she's a fuck. It's the weight division is minimum. This girl weighs 104 pounds, bro. And you saying that you bet $1 million that Seniesa Estrada beats Alycia Baumgardner? No wonder why Alycia Baumgardner said that you just saying anything. That shit don't make no sense. And I just seen Seniesa Estrada fight that one girl that was in her weight class. You know, Vale. She had some trouble with Vale. You know what I'm saying? She won 7-3 on the scorecards. You know what I mean? So, but that girl gave her some resistance and had some pretty decent moments. And that's a 105-pound woman. You mean to tell me that woman is going to deal with a 130-pound Alycia Baumgardner, who has legit knockout power in her division? Yeah, something wrong with you, Ryan. You either extremely trolling or you just be saying and you just be talking out your ass. You don't make any type of sense. Says Ryan trying to get Estrada lined up for $1 million. I mean, I guess, or just bring some type of relevance to her name, but I can't even say that he lined her up for $1 million because that's not even a realistic fight. That's not even a realistic fight, man. Seniesa don't got no business being in the ring with no big ass Alycia Baumgardner and getting punched on like that. She don't even Seniesa Estrada don't even got punching power for her weight division. How the fuck is that shit gonna carry up to 130 pounds? And you know, Alycia big ass ain't making no 105 pounds. Her bicep probably fucking her both of her legs probably 100 pounds on their own. You know what I'm saying? So that shit don't make any sense at all. Don't make any sense at all. Ryan Garcia just be saying anything. And I think he knows that. You know what I mean? He just wanted to say something real quick to get himself involved in that little sticky situation Alycia got right now. You know what I mean? Alycia currently going back and forth with a girl who's significantly bigger than her, and Clarissa Shields. So it just seemed like everybody just clout chasing off of each other, man. Like Alycia knows that Clarissa Shields ain't going down to no 147, but fuck it. She gonna keep building this drama shit up with Clarissa to get some relevant, to get some attention on her name. Clarissa knows that that fight's not gonna happen, but she's gonna continue egging it on so she could get some publicity off the name. They both clout chasing off of each other essentially. Now we got Ryan Garcia who sees women arguing and wants to take part in this like a fucking female. And then you saying that you have a problem with men painting their nails. You might as well paint your nails too, my brother, because you engaging in you know, women's arguments. Typically guys who paint their nails you know, involve themselves in women arguments and women confrontations. You don't sound any different than them. Man, Ryan Garcia, bro, he is an absolute cornball. Absolute cornball, man. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with Ryan Garcia and stuff like that, man. Also, I did see his media workout. You know, I didn't get to speak on it yesterday, at least. Uh, you know, hold on. Let's check this comment over here. Shout out to my boy Ghost. Let me stop. Wait, let me stop sharing right here. He said, this off topic, but why do you think Subriel wants to beat the shit out of Regis so bad for real? You don't think there's something else to it? Well, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it is. I know that there was one point in time where Regis Prograis was champion and Subriel wasn't. And Subriel was hungry, looking for an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So he really wanted that fight, and Regis downplayed him. Regis downplayed him, acted like he wasn't relevant and he wasn't deserving and shit like that. Because, you know, Regis has that tendency. You know what I mean? He's currently doing that with Richardson Hitchens right now. And I feel like, in all honesty, Hitchens is in a better position than Regis is right now, if we being honest. Regis had a terrible performance against Devin Haney. He got dominated, dropped, hurt. Everything you can imagine happened except getting stopped, it happened to Regis. He got outclassed. And his stock significantly dropped off of that performance, it's safe to say, right? So, you know, they asking about him possibly fighting Richardson Hitchens, and he's like, oh, if he beats Subriel, then I'll fight him. So it's like, bro, why are you talking as if you're the A side in this situation, or it's a privilege to fight you, bro? You done lost your world titles 2 times. You know what I'm saying? You lost your first one to Josh Taylor, you lost your second one to Devin Haney. So it's like, at this point in time, you just known as a former world champion. You know what I mean? So I think that Subriel, you know, didn't like the fact that, you know, Regis Prograis was trying to give him the runaround and shit like that when he was looking for an opportunity. So now that's the tables have turned essentially, and Subriel is the champion and Regis isn't. He's just like finding a way to shit on him. You know what I mean? And I still like to see them fight. There's some people that believe, I believe in this chat, that say that Regis Prograis could beat Subriel, or he'll even beat Subriel because of the style matchup. I still think that's an intriguing fight, but we got to take into consideration that, you know, Regis Prograis is in his late 30s. So he's contemplating the idea of trying a different martial arts, which is mixed martial arts, MMA. And that just lets me know that he might have one foot out of boxing. If you're contemplating doing another sport, it's usually because you're losing passion in the other. That's what I've noticed. You know, when Michael Jordan was playing basketball, and you know, there's conspiracies as to why he joined baseball and shit like that. But when you start thinking about another sport, it's because you're losing passion in the other. I said the same shit about Canelo Alvarez. This man was playing golf so much, I was starting to believe that was his therapy away from boxing, because boxing may have been burning out Canelo Alvarez. I haven't been seeing anything about Canelo golfing lately, so maybe, you know, he's motivated again. I don't know what the situation is, but usually from my experience and what I've noticed, when people start talking about participating in different sports, it's because it's a lack of opportunities in the current sport they in, or they're looking for a way to find another passion, because that passion might be burning out with boxing. He said Prograis won't get past 8. I think Prograis gets stopped by Subriel. I ain't gonna lie to you. if Prograves fights going backwards, he's assed out. Ralph, I think you got to correct yourself, my brother. You said, if I'm being honest, Regis fell off after he lost to Regis. I believe you're saying Taylor. I believe you meant to say Taylor. You know what I mean? I think even Paro beats Regis at this point. Paro is dangerous. Paro is dangerous. I hope Subriel is preparing to the best of his ability. I seen this motherfucker damn near got the same beard and mustache that I do. So he locked in. He ain't getting no haircuts or nothing. You know what I mean? So that's good to hear from Subriel, man. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he's I hope his team is studying Paro and preparing properly. He said Paro is dangerous and he's very motivated. Well, that's something that Subriel needs to keep in mind, and he has to stay hungry. For real. Because that's somebody dangerous to go up against. Somebody who, been waiting for this opportunity. When you got somebody that focused and looking for something to prove, you gotta be on your toes for that. Gotta be on your toes for that, man. So we're gonna have to see. That might be a great fight. And if an upset happens, this 140 division going the world of boxing might shake off of that. I ain't gonna lie to you, because Matias got a lot of momentum behind him right now, and he's known as like one of the boogeymen in boxing. So if Paro was to upset Matias in any way, shape, or form, that'd definitely turn the boxing world upside down in that moment. Ghost said, I like that Matias was asked about other fights, and he said he just focused on Paro. Yeah, because the media has a tendency of like overlooking fighters and assuming that these guys are gonna beat the fighters that's set in front of them. Like, shout out to Mill City. He's been putting on some amazing interviews, but I did catch that Mill City was talking about every fight except Leon Paro. You know what I'm saying? He was speaking about Devin Haney, speaking about Bill Haney. Like, Bill Haney was talked about more than Leon Paro in that interview that I watched, which lets me know that, Mill City probably doesn't think too much of Leon Paro. I could be wrong. Sometimes he's in the comment section. So if you're listening to this right now, you know what I mean, you're free to answer the question. But it seems like he doesn't think too much of Leon Paro. He might respect him and things like that, but I did notice that a lot of questions were revolved around other fighters and not Leon Paro. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. Hopefully Subriel doesn't share that mentality, because, if he starts thinking about other guys and not focusing on Liam, he could have some issues. He might have a long night in the ring, and I don't think that's something that he wants to do. He slept on one fighter, and he took an L as a result of it. So hopefully he learned from that mistake. He avenged that loss, so he's gotten past that. But hopefully he doesn't let history repeat itself, is what I'm saying. Sean Terrence says, what's your thoughts on a potential Russell versus Matias fight at 140? What is Russell doing? What is he even doing? I don't even remember the last time this man fought, like, if we being honest. But I heard Matias speak about him, and he said that he's no longer with PBC, but when he was with PBC, these guys weren't nowhere to be found, and they weren't even looking for the fight. So now that, he's over with Matchroom and shit, they want to run their mouth and shit like that. He pretty much just telling them to stop talking shit, which it may be valid, because I don't really be hearing shit from Antoine Russell, honestly. That man just be in his own little zone, not marketing himself at all. You know what I mean? He's been shining his performances. He's a dangerous fighter. I think he has like 100% knockout ratio as far as I'm concerned. And all of Subriel's wins have been by knockout. So he's knocked out everybody he's fought. So it's a great fight. I would love to see it happen. Shit, that'll be a great fight to be made. But what is Antoine Russell doing right now? Like, this dude isn't keeping himself relevant at all. And, there's plenty of conversations that I hear about in 140 that isn't really mentioning Antoine Russell. And I think that's Antoine Russell's fault. He should be a more relevant name at 140 than he currently is. And I think that's due to him being inactive and not marketing himself. How often do you see this man do interviews? He just sits back and just waits for a date, fights, and then he disappears. Like, I don't know, man. He needs to be doing more. He needs to be doing more. It's like these dudes nowadays. Like, I understand you may have a promoter or you may have a network, but at the same time, bro, you gotta push yourself, man. You gotta make your name known if you want to get in position to get these fights or have the fans demand you fight somebody. You know what I mean? I think Antoine would have been in a way better position if he marketed himself more. You know what I'm saying? Orlando Finney says, who do you have for that Loma versus Kambosos fight? I believe Loma should be winning that fight, man. But, there's some questions that need to be answered because, Lomachenko, I don't believe he's fought since the Devin Haney fight. And he looked good in the Devin Haney fight, but as always, man, I felt like he waited until the end to really turn it up. And we just got to see what's left of Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, I don't think he's the same fighter that he was at 126 and 130. I think he slowed down significantly. His aim, it seemed like his footwork is a little bit slower than what it used to be. I feel like his angles aren't as effective as they used to be. George Kambosos, I think that he's an overrated fighter. You know what I mean? I think that he's game. I think that he's experienced. He's a chief sparring partner for like a prime Manny Pacquiao and shit like that. But for the most part, I don't think there's nothing really too much with him. I think that he beat Teofimo at one of his lowest points. I think that he took advantage of a Teofimo that, wasn't able to stay focused, which props to him. He did what he had to do. He took Teofimo's O and became unified champion, but, he went on to get schooled by Devin Haney afterwards, not having a single title defense. So I think that Lomachenko is notches above Kambosos. But, if Loma, gets old overnight in the ring, I don't know if he beats Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? That's funny as shit. Look, Ralph just said that word for word. He says, in my opinion, the only way Kambosos wins is if Loma gets old overnight. And that could really happen. Like, I've seen that shit happen where, I'm under the impression that somebody's going to do well, may possibly win a fight, but then they don't look like themselves. Like, I ain't going to lie to you. I thought Carl Frampton was going to do way better with Jamel Hearn. Way better. But then I heard, Carl Frampton talking about, like, retirement and shit like that. And then Jamel Hearn noticed, he was like, man, he's already talking about retirement. He got one foot out the door. And I'm going to just get him up out of boxing. That's essentially what happened. I think a younger Carl Frampton could have beat Jamel Hearn. But it just seemed like he got old overnight. They are fighting down under. I guess Kambosos sells a lot of tickets down there, man, because they've been keeping his ass over there. I think he fought Maxie Hughes in the States, but like a lot of his big fights, they've been taken to Australia. So he definitely either selling out arenas over there or he's generating a lot of revenue. He must be a big star where he's at. For sure. Because that could have easily been a fight in the States, but the fact that Top Rank chose to bring it over there lets me know that, he probably running up some nice numbers over there. Dabrowski says, but if Loma is at least anything close to that Haney performance, I can see maybe a late stoppage. If he's anything, like if he's able to apply that pressure and have that punch accuracy that he had against Devin Haney in those mid to late rounds, he definitely going to piece Kambosos up. And, Lomachenko's not a big puncher, but if he hits you with enough of them Jones, he could get you up out of there. He has a pretty solid knockout ratio as well. So there's a method to, to his offense and shit like that, I guess you would say. But, if he's anything like himself, he should beat Kambosos. That's my opinion. Well, what's the odds for that fight? Let's check that out. Yo, bro, one thing about having central air, though, bro, it can get from hot to cold as hell. Seconds. The best odds available for George Kambosos is at plus 520 at FanDuel and for Vasyl Lomachenko minus 650 at DraftKings. So they got him as a 6.5 to 1 favorite on DraftKings and a 5 So 1 underdog on FanDuel. Wow. Let's check. Let's see DraftKings, what they got going on over here. So I'm gonna share my screen with y'all just to provide some transparency so y'all can know what I'm looking at. Let's check this out. So this is DraftKings website right here. And yeah. Minus 650 for Vasil Lomachenko and plus 450 for George Kambosos. So if y'all slightly under the impression that Kambosos may be able to pull this off against Lomachenko and y'all got some spare bread, it might be smart to put a little something on Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? And these odds makers, whatever the hell you want to call them, sports bettors or whatever, they're under the impression that this is going to go to a decision or at least go over 10 rounds. You know what I mean? So they probably looking at it as a Vasil Lomachenko decision. But if Vasil is in his bag, he can't stop Kambosos. I'll tell you that. Ghost says, I got to go, but Mazuma, keep up the work. You're doing great, my guy. I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. What y'all think about Dubois versus Herkovich? If that's solidified, then shout out to Dubois because he's been going after the smoke, man. I think if this is solidified, then he pretty much took Usyk, Big Baby, and Herkovich simultaneously, back to back to back. You gotta respect that. He's coming off of the biggest win in his career against Big Baby Miller. Now, was that the best version of Big Baby? I don't think so. I think that he was underprepared for that. But he still took advantage of that. He didn't have to get in the ring, and it cost him. You know what I mean? So Herkovich might pull that off, man. Herkovich might pull that off because, Dubois, he got punching power, solid fighter, but he do got quit in him. I've seen him quit multiple times. I think Herkovich could pull that out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he could pull that out. But if Dubois is able to come out victorious against Herkovich, now you gotta start really looking at Dubois as like a possible challenger for a world title soon. Because that'd be a hell of a statement. Yeah, Lorenzo, Dubois folds when the going gets tough. That's a fact. That's a fact. When shit get hot in there, he's looking for a way out. You know what I mean? You can't sit in the sauna too long. That's how that shit gets sometimes for certain fighters. You know what I mean? They can fight their ass off. You know what I mean? If you let them, they'll fuck you up. But, if you provide a little resistance, push them back and make them second guess themselves, then, you know what I mean? They slowly but surely looking for a way out or trying to get themselves up out of that situation. I think that Usyk fight, he had some success. I thought that was a clean body shot he landed on Usyk, but Usyk was able to, get the ref on his side in that situation. And then once he started peppering Dubois with certain shots and Dubois started to, feel like he didn't have it no more, I thought he bowed out of that fight. I think he could have kept fighting. I think he got dropped. I think like he dropped himself. Like he went down with like a jab from Usyk. And mind you, Usyk isn't a big puncher and he came from fucking cruiserweight. So it shouldn't, I know it's 10-ounce gloves. I know it's small gloves or whatever. And maybe it was like an accumulation of punishment, possibly. But, I just thought that was him just bowing out. That's just what I think. You know what I'm saying? But, I pretty much spoke about everything I needed to speak about today on this live, man. I appreciate everybody that was tuned in. You know what I mean? He said he hate Usyk mustache. He's like a substitute art teacher. That's fucking hilarious. Usyk definitely looked like he be wearing them like them hats that them French motherfuckers be wearing, like them art teachers and shit. Yeah. For sure. But I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I shout out to everybody that came and tuned in on the live, man. Y'all hit the like button on the way out, man. You know what I mean? It was another great live. Wrapped up, we spoke about Jaron Ennis. We spoke about him signing with Eddie Hearn. We spoke about Ryan Garcia attacking Alycia Baumgardner on some clown shit. You know what I mean? And we spoke on some open topics as well. So shout out to everybody that was in the building. He said that was a hilarious live. Yeah, for sure. But I'm going to get up out of here. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. You know what I mean? Y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all new. And whenever y'all get the chance, man, go subscribe to that new YouTube channel that I got, man. Notes to Self with MarkMazuma, man, talking about some real life things, some real life situations, and just having open and transparent conversations, man. So be on the lookout. Go check out that new video. That's about like 22 minutes long, man. If y'all not able to watch the whole thing, it's cool. But, you know, any support is appreciated on the new channel, man. But until then, I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm out of here, man. Peace.